Do you ever think about what nostrils are like little mountain caves? Do you ever think about that? Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tano Markova, and in today's video, as promised, I will talk about Venus and Taurus through the 12 astrological houses of life. Many people have a Venus and Taurus, but it's going to be played out differently depending on the house it's in, right? Before I begin, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you like a birth chart reading from me, I will link everything down below in my description. So check that out. So if you have your Venus and Taurus in the first house, right? So we know your first house is your personality, things that you're personally interested in, and people, places, and things that are in your personal life, and just how you handle your personal issues as an individual, generally, right? So Venus doesn't like being in the first house, you know, because then it takes everything personally, and this is what kind of makes it selfish. And Venus isn't really a selfish planet. It's more so about like the pleasures and giving pleasure and also receiving pleasure. And like the first house is more so about like me and how I as an individual do things. And Venus is more so about we, you know, let us do things. First house is more about how I do things, you know. This is the Aries house. So having your Venus and Taurus in the first house, you're probably a Taurus rising. So essentially with this placement, you're also somebody that like you love and appreciate your personal, like you love and appreciate and you build on your personality. You know, you love and appreciate and you build on how you handle your own personal issues and the people, places, and things that are in your personal life. You like to build on these things and you don't really like to change on your personality. So these, like, generally you may be somebody who seems like you like going through shit, or you just the way that you, how do I say this? Like the way that you may talk about things, talk about your personal issues, people may catch the influence that you like your personal issues and like you love and appreciate, like, and you actually may love and appreciate things that you go through personally, you know, your personal issues, affairs, all of that shit, you know. But having it in Venus, like, I feel like your love language here kind of becomes a lot more selfish, you know, and a lot more stubborn also, because a Venus and Taurus will see what other people like. So like, let's say you're going on a date, you guys talk about what you like to do and what you don't like to do, right? So I feel like, and you kind of compromise and kind of find a middle ground, and then you like to stay stable in that and do that consistently every day. So with this placement, I feel like you definitely would be somebody who you wouldn't really like other people who don't like things that you are personally interested in, you know, because you just may see it as, oh no, if I like watching horror movies, so if I'm with someone who always likes watching romance, it's gonna clash with my thing, because I know I'm not even gonna want to watch romantic movies with you, and I'm just gonna go sleep, you know, and I'm not really gonna care about maybe how you feel about it, because it doesn't resonate with what I love and appreciate, you know. So this is what kind of makes it selfish in that sense. It's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, you can do a thing, but as long as it's not matching my vibrations and what I love and appreciate, then I'm not gonna love and appreciate it. You know, if it doesn't match with how I handle my personal issues, then I'm not going to love and appreciate it either. Like, I'm not gonna tend to it, or I'm gonna give it the most minimal attention, if not at all. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. So once again, it can be like a very selfish kind of placement, you know. I mean, the love and appreciation will still be there in terms of the Venusian part of it, you know. So I feel like this would be somebody you love and appreciate people who share similar, like, you're gonna love and appreciate people who share similar personal values as you do, you know. So like how you handle your personal issues, you're gonna love and appreciate people who handle their personal issues similar to how you do it, you know. And that may be like one person in the entire country that you live in, you know. But for the most part, like, yeah, I just feel like you also may be one of those really aggressive Tauruses where you can be really possessive over your personal life. So you may not even announce how you handle your personal life, or like what even happens in your personal life, you know. You may keep that like private also, kind of like the Venus in Cancer in the first house. Yeah. So I just feel like with this placement, you're definitely somebody who you're like very low key, but also just one of those like how do I say this? You get really possessive of, if somebody makes it in your personal life, or you guys like share something personal, like you kind of just get possessive over them personally, and you kind of feel robbed if that person, or you kind of feel like, what the fuck, why are you changing the system if that person in your personal life decides to like something else that isn't horror movies? Or, you know, just use that example. You kind of just feel like almost betrayed, like, what the fuck? No, this is how we do things. We watch horror movies on Fridays. We're not changing. We're not gonna watch fucking romantic movies. No. And then kind of just, you know, get like creepy with that shit. I'm sorry, because I know Tauruses can also be like really creepy. Yeah, so if you have your Venus and Taurus in the second house, so this is like a double emphasis on the Taurus energy, because Taurus, like I said, is ruled by the second house. And Venus likes to be in the second house, and it also likes to be in Taurus. So this is a double emphasis on the Venusian energy also. So what you love and appreciate it's basically the Taurus things. You know, you love and appreciate things of the physical matter. You see sensuality as something that you can give. You know, giving back massages. That's a feeling of love that you give with your hands. You know how your love language is like, oh, I'm going to show you I love you by making a really good meal for you that's going to make you feel good. So I'm giving you a feeling in the form of food. I'm giving you a feeling in the form of getting you a phone. I'm giving you a feeling in the form of buying you a pillow. I'm giving you the feeling of love in the form of hugging you, kissing you, you know, possessing you also, because you're mine. Whatever. If you are fucking mine, bruh, you're mine. So don't lead me astray. Don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, that type of thing. I'm just like, I'm giving you love in the form of just, you know, you being mine. Like everything that is mine, I love and appreciate, you know. Tauruses love and appreciate everything that they own. Their cars, their house, their family members, their shoes, their style, things that they like to watch. You know, they kind of sense those things as their possession. So if you are in their circumference, or if you have made it as their friend or something, then definitely get ready to be treated the same way they treat their clothes. Or get ready to be treated the same way they treat, you know, their hair or their house or their car, something like that. And I find Tauruses to be really messy people. They can be very like, their room can be as like Pisces, where it's just messy as shit, you know, and they may like it like that. So if you are a messy person, they may just, you know, they may not want to change you. They're just like, oh, wow, okay, you just stay there. I still think you're pretty and all of that shit. But just get ready. Like, they're gonna, oh shit, sorry. Like I said, the same way they treat even their bodies also, and food, just anything that is external that they can touch. Like if they have a guitar and they love that guitar, get ready to be treated the same way they treat their guitar. You know, they're not gonna want just anybody to just, they may not even want people to touch their guitar, you know, because it's like, no, that's mine. So you may be treated the same way with that Venus in Taurus in the second house, you know. But for the most part, you're just a very lovely person, very possessive or protective, whatever you want to call it. I think Cancer's more so protective, and then you are the possessive one. Yeah, whether you want to admit it or not, you know. And just think about how, like, if somebody does touch your guitar, you get really angry and you feel like you can kill them. That's the same feeling you would give to somebody who wants to, like, speak to you, the person you're dating. You know, you just get really like, no, don't touch them. Ew, don't do that. That type of thing. Yeah, that's cool. But definitely, I think with this also, you just attract a lot of people that really fuck with you. Because I feel like with this placement, you definitely have a beautiful voice. A singing voice especially. Even though you may smoke or do whatever, you definitely have a good singing voice. Or you're into poetry. You know, if you can't sing, you're definitely into poetry. Or just like, you could be a songwriter with this. Especially about romance and shit like that. You know, because you do be loving the romance part of life. Because you are very romantic. Especially with this part, you're very romantic. Oh my god, you know, if it's a dinner date, fucking dates at home where we cook for each other and listen to good music. This is definitely the placement that birthed the good sex, good music, good company. I'm happy. That's that, you know. Apply it to everything in life, the good company, you know, even in work or something like that, cars or whatever. Definitely the house that makes you this is definitely the placement that can make you very materialistic. You know, like very materialistic. But you just may see it as, I'm enjoying the physical world as what it is, you know. It just may be the thing of learn to not attach your entire human living experience to your physical pleasures. You know, there's also the spiritual side of something. Unless you attach your spiritual life to your physical attributes, like thank you universe for giving me this ukulele, you know. And in that way, you kind of creating a separation of, okay, I understand that this is here now, but I'm gonna die soon, so I'm gonna appreciate my body and the tangible things that come with this physical realm, but let me not get so attached to everything, you know, that type of thing. Bars. And then if you have your Venus in Taurus in the 3rd house, you know, 3rd house is like the Gemini house, thinking and communicating, you know, friends, places and not situations, but things and places that you're familiar with, you know, like your local shopping place, going to the movies that's close to your area, the people that you see that live in your area. It may not just be your neighborhood, but it just may be like your city or something like that. Obviously, you have friends from your school, but they live different areas, so, you know, shit like that, you know. So if you have your Venus in Gemini, Venus in Taurus in the 3rd house, I feel like with this placement, you may have, like, your love language would probably, I feel like this is also a double emphasis on just, like, loving and appreciating any word forms, you know, like forms of, like, using your mind, and just, like, if it's not communicating, it's, like, using your hands, you know, like, being a pianist, a guitarist, I don't know if a ukuleleist, or just any kind of, like, instrument, you know. That's what you, like, your love language would probably be making music or, like, writing poetry for people, or, like, definitely this could be the words of, like, affirmations type of person, you know. You may be a lot more talkative than the average Taurus, especially if you have, like, a Gemini Mercury. Then this would help you a lot more, like, in terms of communicating, rather than just, like, being silent all the time, like Tauruses can be, just, like, super silent, like, disturbingly quiet. You know. Yeah, I just feel like with this placement, with having your Gemini, I keep saying Gemini, your Venus and Taurus in the 3rd house, I would say also you may want to be situated where you grew up in your neighborhood. You know, you may not want to really move away from where you were raised. You know, because you may feel like that's where, like, you're comfortable with it and you know where everything is, and that's surety, because I know Tauruses are also all about surety. So you probably have considered, like, you're probably the type of person, like, you know, your friends tell you guys talk and have these discussions, like, oh, when I grow up, I want to go live in Australia or the UK, whatever. You, as a Venus and Taurus in the 3rd house, you have a love and appreciation for your neighborhood, like, for your 3rd house, for your friends, you know, people that you in your, like, surroundings, you know. So you probably, like, I feel like your idealistic version of, like, your life would probably be to marry someone that you grew up with in your area, get a house in your area. These are definitely the type of people, like, if their parents live, like, in one city, they live, like, just a city away, or just in that city also, in that proximity, you know. You probably wouldn't want to be the type of person that moves too far away from your proximities or where you grew up or your familiarities, like I say, you know. Like, you probably would move away, but it's probably going to be kind of close to where you used to live with your parents, you know, because it's still a love and appreciation, and the foundations that you have, like, it's like you build foundations there and you just kind of want to stay there. You just, like, build there at your home. So yeah, I don't think this is not the placement for liking somebody from overseas. Or you probably wanna, if you're like me and you grew up in South Africa, right? And you probably would want to date, if you don't date someone from your own culture, you know, if you're Zulu, you probably want to date someone who is also Zulu. But if it's not that, it doesn't have to be that intense, you know. It could be just like you just date people from the same place that you grew up in, you know, school, university, you know. You probably were the person that like you probably didn't want to live in race, and if you did, then you always just wanted to be home, just because home is where you like you have your favorite foods and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that you liked was at home, that you learned to love and that you grew up with. Like it's at home. So why leave to go to the UK and have to start all over again and have to meet new people and get accommodated with the culture and like the way of living there when you've already built a set foundation on where you live here in your third house. So why not just continue building there, you know? So I feel like also when if you ever have children with this placement, you also may be really possessive over them. But Tauruses are just possessive with the people that they have generally. You know, I don't care what the fuck you guys say. You guys are fucking possessive. Unless you have a lot of Gemini in your chart or a lot of air or fire. Not Leo. Let me not even say fire. I'd say Sagittarius, yeah. But yeah, guys, that's the vibe. That's the vibe with that. But for the most part, you just have a love and appreciation for your neighborhood. That's your love language, you know. Just doing like how you show someone you love them is by by being like, yo, let's go to this. This is my favorite restaurant that I always go to. Let's go eat there, you know. And no, I don't want to eat food from your favorite restaurant that is all the way in that other city. I want to stay here. Let me show you I love you by ordering my favorite meal that I eat every Friday. Same thing, don't change, you know, that type of thing. Yeah. And then if you have your Venus in Taurus and the 4th house, I feel like this definitely adds a double emphasis on just your comfort levels. Because we know 4th house is like just basically how you grew up and like your roots, you know, your family roots, how you were raised as a child, the energy that you have at home, you know, what your home looks like, how you are at home, how your home generally is, the behaviors of your home life, you know, vibes like that. And you're an Aquarius rising with this, so you're like me, so you probably just grew up with having possessive parents generally. Your home is really nice, you know. So this definitely makes you a very private person. I don't doubt that you don't go out much with this. You know, your idea of fun is just like binge watching movies, binge watching series, ordering takeaways to binge watch series, you know, taking a nice bubble bath at home, smoking your favorite cigarettes, drinking your favorite wine or juice or tea or coffee, or, you know, you just knowing that there's like some kind of, because this is definitely, you love and appreciate comfort overall. 4th house is also just comfort, you know, but Taurus is like the manifestation of that comfort, so you just love and appreciate comfort. If you do go out, it's once every how many fucking years, and even in those times, you do have fun. You might have fun at first, but it's also like, oh my god, I don't like people. I don't like human beings. I just want to go home so I can continue being in my pleasures and being in my comfort zone and just be happy in my bed where I'm wearing a onesie or nothing at all. I just want to be naked. You may definitely be the type of person that's like, I just want to go home to just be naked and watch or listen to my favorite album right now. Or, you know, this is just like the 3rd house. I doubt that you'd want to move away from, like, if you had to, obviously if you grow up and you're 30 something and you're looking for a home, I don't doubt that you probably also want to like stay near your parents' home. But then again, having your Aquarius rising kind of makes you detached from that, you know. So it would depend on your other placements. Let me say it. It's always going to depend on your other placements, you know. But yeah, for the most part, I just feel like with this placement, you just love comfort, you know, but it may be a bit tricky with this because you just may be so fixated that you forget that you have to like work. You forget that you have to like sustain yourself to get money and like move out of your parents' home, because they're gonna want you to move out eventually, you know? They're gonna want that, and you have to do that eventually. You have to. You can't just like be on Instagram in your bed, you know? You're gonna have to like get the fuck up and like do work, you know? And it may take you time to realize this, because obviously you're gonna be slow moving, because like this is how you love and appreciate. Like this is your comfort levels on a everyday thing, you know. So yeah, I just say like, and also you have a love and appreciation for your family. You may see if you have your Aquarius first house lord in the 4th house, it's gonna change a lot, because you also may be really detached from your external, like from your family members. You may not really talk that much with your family members, but you're just very much loving and appreciating of the comfort levels of like your room, you know. You may like your space in your room. You just like the comfort of your room, or just like the comfort of the comfort, you know what I'm saying? You just like being, that's your love language. Your love language is inviting somebody over to your house and sleeping. And if you're like me, you can't really have people over like that, you know. Your love language is, it may be brought out a lot more when you are in situations where you can do those things, where you can like live in your own space and like invite people over and just be comfortable with them, you know. But it's obviously gonna gradually get there once it's accessible to you, you know. But yeah, and then if you have Venus and Taurus in the 5th house, so we know 5th house is how you have fun and entertain yourself. It's how you express yourself playfully. It's like the childlike house. So having this placement, having your Venus and Taurus in the 5th house, I feel like, okay, having Taurus in the 5th house generally, you probably very fixated in how you express yourself, and very fixated in the things that you enjoy, you know. Definitely like I'm not saying that you won't have many different tastes in music, but I definitely will say you're definitely the type of person, like if you are into rock, then you always are like a rock human being for the rest of your life. You might listen to reggae, you might listen to African music, but that's always like the foundation that you set with rock music. That will be your go-to all the time, you know. If you're not really in the mood to listen to reggae or indie, you're always gonna like stick with rock, you know. It's always gonna be that, just like the way that the things that you enjoy. If you have from childhood, you've always watched like SpongeBob, and you love and appreciate SpongeBob, you wouldn't mind binge watching SpongeBob like 10 times in your life, you know. So I feel like your love language, your expression, you may be really, I mean, obviously you're going to be really funny with this placement, but because Taurus is here, and Taurus is like super calm, cool, collected, there's always going to be like this form of like non-change. Like you won't change the things that you've enjoyed for your life. You may just have, you may enjoy watching like a series for 10 years, you know every line, you know every scene, you just know everything, but just for the fact that you love and appreciate it, you may watch that. And in terms of expressing yourself, with Venus here, in relationships, obviously you're gonna want your partner to kind of love and appreciate what you love and appreciate, in terms of like your favorite shows, or you know, if you like going to art galleries, you know, that would be your love language, is showing somebody the things that you enjoy doing, you know. It may be like, obviously this would also emphasize on the artistic side of, on the artistic side of things, because 5th house is like an artsy fartsy kind of house. I want to say like it's kind of like having a Taurus sun sign in a way, you know. I mean, you're still definitely going to be like the earthy person, but I think you would probably, if you are like a guitarist or something, you would want to build on that, and that's your form of entertainment, you know. And your love language would be showing somebody, oh, this is what makes me happy, this is what I enjoy doing, you know, and like share that with somebody. And that would be like that's your way of expressing love to people. It's just like showing them things that you love and appreciate in terms of how you have fun and expressing yourself. So you may express yourself artistically also, you know, and that's your form of like, that's your love language too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you get what I'm saying with this placement, you know. If it's shopping, you just, you know, just take that same thing with the guitar playing and apply to shopping, apply to anything that you love and appreciate. Like obviously you know yourself as a Venus and Taurus in the fifth house, you know, just know that you like to build on the things that you like, that you enjoy doing, that you have fun doing, you know, whatever, and you build on that, and that's you. That's just you. You don't really change, you just build on shit, you know. So that's the vibe. And then if you have your Venus and Taurus in the 6th house, this is a double emphasis on the earth energy. You know, 6th house is the Virgo house. So with this 6th house, I mean, Libra, what am I saying, Libra? The Venus, Venus doesn't like to be in the 6th house. You know, it falls in the 6th house. It's sleeping. Doesn't like being so overly criticizing and doesn't like overly analyzing people's actions and like nitpicking what you're doing wrong and how you're doing it wrong. So I feel like with Taurus being it kind of helps it a bit, you know. But I feel like for the most part, this is a neater Taurus, you know. You probably have a particular way of folding your clothes with this placement. You have a particular way, and this is your love language, and you get irritated when people try to change your systems, your routines, your schedules, you know, because you have a very fixed way of how to do things. And you probably, because you see, a Virgo would probably change their routine here and there to improve it, but as a Venus and Taurus in the 6th house, what you love and appreciate is having a consistent routine, you know. With nighttime skin routine, you probably have been using the same soap since you were a child. You've probably been using the same hair shampoo as a child. You've been using, if you run the same route every day or whenever you do that shit, you know. If you're like in a specific diet, like vegan, vegetarian, you know, you probably plan on being vegan, vegetarian for the rest of your life, you know. But yeah, you definitely, I feel like your love language would to help somebody else in terms of like forming systems for them so that they can have a consistent, helpful routine, you know. But you definitely have like you fold your clothes in a specific way, you iron your clothes in a specific way, you pack your clothes in your wardrobe in a specific way, you park your car in a specific way, you know, and it's always the same every day. You're very predictable in your routines, you know, and in your health too. I feel like this is definitely a Taurus that cares a lot more about their health, because Tauruses may not really care about their health, just as long as their pleasures are there, you know. But you love and appreciate, I feel like with this person, you just love and appreciate just knowing that you have a consistent routine every day. Tauruses love routine, but like how a Virgo love routine, like I said, Virgos know how to switch it up, and they love switching it up in terms of like if they know they can improve a routine, or if they know something's going to be a lot better. But a Taurus may not like this, you know. Taurus is, even if something kind of fumbles, they're going to stick with it because it works, or it's like a sure thing for them, you know. And this is kind of where they'll clash with Virgos, because a Virgo is going to be like, dude, that's clearly like a drag, why don't you just do it the easier way? And then the Taurus is going to be like, no, I don't want to do it the easier way, I want to do it this way. You know. So having it in the 6th house, that's just how you are with your routines, you know. Even if the way that you do your belt takes you a good 2 minutes, but the way you fasten your tie takes you like 5 minutes, and somebody suggests an easier way, faster way of doing it, you're not gonna do that because you've already learned how to do that, even if it takes you 5 minutes, you know. If doing your bed also, you won't, like if somebody tells you, dude, if you fold your bed sheets like this, it's gonna take you a lot quicker to do it, you'll be like, I don't care, and then you just do it the same way that you know how to do it, because it's like difficult for you. Or I don't know if it's difficult for you to change, or if you're actually reluctant to it, or if it's both. I don't fucking know. You know, that's it. I'll ask Taurus. Oh, comment down below what it is, Tauruses. I don't fucking know. But yeah, for the most part, like, your love language is just kind of including people in your routines, you know. Someone you're dating can be part of your routine and is like very accepting of what it is that you're doing, and you know that's you fuck with that. That's, you love that shit. You eat it up like avocado toast, you know. That's the vibe. And then if you have Venus and Taurus in the 7th house. Seventh house is also, 7th house likes being in Venus because this is the house of Libra, you know. So if you have your Venus and Taurus in the 7th house, this is a placement where you probably don't want to change who you've been dating with, or just the relationship. Because if it's not romance, because we know 7th house is just basically how you relate to people, you know. So you may also, see, having Taurus, you may be a little bit social, but I see Tauruses don't really, they're not like Libras or Geminis where they can be hoes and like not really think too much about it. They can just like fuck people, talk to whoever, pretend they're dating, and then just dip and whatever. I think Tauruses, they won't do that. They'll be a lot more selective about who they relate their lives with. So having Venus and Taurus in the 7th house, I feel like you're also going to be a lot more selective about who you relate to, and then you want to stay situated in those relationships that you have with people. So dealing with your siblings, you want to have you build a relationship with your siblings, and you guys obviously get to know each other a lot better because of the conversations and the relatability, the relating nature that you got, not relating nature, but the relating conversations that you have with each other. So you kind of relate in that matter, you know. And if it's like, obviously you have like a stable relationship with your siblings, and if it's not stable, then you probably want it to be stable, you know. Take this with your parents also. You probably build relationships with your parents, and if you don't have a good relationship, then you probably want to, you know. But if it's like with your romantic partners, if it's like dating, you probably want to date one person. And this is Tauruses generally, but I'm saying like damn, I feel like a Venus and Taurus in the 7th house, if they date somebody in high school or university and they break up, I feel like that Venus and Taurus is probably not gonna want to date anybody else anymore. They'd like literally rather be single. Because especially if that relationship was like 2 years, 3, if it was like a long relationship and you guys have like, you know, you've like learned about each other, you've had sex, you've established, you know, routines on how to do things, like positions and shit like that. You know, obviously when you date each other, you guys get to know each other, mind, body, soul, spirit, all of that shit, you know. So for Venus and Taurus in the 11th person, you probably don't want to let this go. So you'd probably be the type of person that like, if that relationship doesn't work out, you're clocking out on the dating scene generally. Like, you're just out of the game. And you're not willing to, like, you know, date again. Because it's like, to you, it's like, oh my God, I have to get to know a whole other person again. Like, I've already established a relationship with this person, and I just want it to be this person because I've chosen this person. So why do I have to do that, you know? It may be irritating, and it may be not like, but I just feel like, because I have an auntie with this placement, and she's out of the game. She's like 40 something, and she's out of the game from university, and that was like back in 19 something. It's 2021. She's out the game. She clocked out, dude. But that's obviously because of other reasons, like background and shit. It doesn't have to be this necessarily, but it could also just be the fact that you like, definitely you would be somebody who likes longevity relationships. Venus and Tauruses love this generally, but I feel like in terms of, because it's in the 7th house, like you just want to have one romantic partner forever, you know, forever. And you probably always want to go, like, even if that person is toxic, you probably always vouch to just go back to the devil that you know, rather than going to a devil that you don't know, you know, because that's also like a whole process. It's a slow process. I think maybe that's why you don't want to like get to know someone else, because you know the process it takes to get to know somebody else, and because you are already a slower person, or you just take your sweet precious time in getting to know somebody, you know, that there may be a good 10 years, and that probably the person that you dated before that probably also took you a good 10 years to get to know, you know. And you're probably thinking, oh my God, if we break up, I have to go a whole other 10 years to like do the same situation when I can just stick with this person, even if they fucking toxic, even if they're like rude as shit, you know what I'm saying? That's the situation. So I feel for you if you have this placement, and this is what it's like for you. Like that shit must suck, dude. You're sus. Fuck. Yeah, and then if you have your Venus and Taurus in the 8th house, so this is a 180 opposition placement from where Taurus likes to be. So this is the house of Scorpio, and Venus does not like to be in the 8th house. So I feel like with this placement, you're definitely somebody who values your secrets. You know, you value your secrecy. You value the skeletons under your closet. You value your intensity. You value going under some chaotic shit. You value some chaotic shit, you know. You value going through trials and triumphs. You value it may be a bit chaotic because like having the Taurus energy and it being so steady and calm, and then being in like the Scorpio house, it just may be a bit frustrating because you're gonna want to make sense of your secrets. So I feel like with this, you're probably gonna practicalize. You're gonna probably want to practicalize your 8th house shit, you know. So I feel like it could also be because obviously 8th house is dealing with sex and death and transformation. So it could also be a thing where like things that you love and appreciate transform, and this may be a bit icky for you because you like you like having things stable and fucking not shaky like the 8th house is, you know. But it may be a thing where things that you love and appreciate always transform, you know. And you may love and appreciate the transformation also. Could go either. It could actually go both ways, you know, where the things that like your secrets always transform you, but you also may love and appreciate this, you know, even though it may suck, but you may love and appreciate the transformation of things, you know. You may love and appreciate your secrets, and also see your secrets as something that you can give, because obviously Taurus is gonna make sense of this, you know. So I think maybe your love language with this is like giving, like it's gonna be like you give people a part of your soul, because 8th house is a water house, and it is obviously water is your soul. So you're gonna see. I think this is like the more chaotic Venus and Taurus person. Obviously, a lot more quiet, a lot more strategic also with the people. Definitely has a small group of friends. Has a small group. If you probably don't have friends at all, or you have like one person that you dated, and then you have like 3 friends, and even those friends, you may not open up to them as much as you do with the person that you're dating, you know, because the person that you're dating, they get everything. Like they get your moodiness, they get your transformative nature, you know. Definitely with this placement, you like to have sex. That's a love language. Touch all the time. If you're walking past me, touch me. Fucking kiss my neck. Oh my god, please kiss my neck. Breathe on my neck, you know. Gently spank my bum. Whether it's guys or dudes. Humans with vaginas, humans with penises. Whatever. And humans with penises with the Venus and Taurus, also very sensual people, you know. So just like, yeah, touch me, because it's like both a sensual and a sexual experience with this, because it's in the 8th house, you know. I just feel like you maybe you're a lot more secretive with what you love and appreciate. Like you may not really tell people what you love and appreciate. Could be that situation. Or you're just like a lot more secretive about what you love and appreciate until someone is like super close to you, you know. Then you can be like, oh, okay, like I fuck with you. So you can know that part of me. And then you can practicalize that part of yourself. But it just has to be a thing where you know that person is yours forever. Like you guys, both of you have a mutual understanding that you guys are each other's forever. No matter what, no matter where, you guys are forever, you know. Definitely, just like the 7th house, this is somebody, like, if you're in a relationship with somebody, maybe not so much friendships, because friendships can end, but if it is friendship, then you probably have friends that know that about you. Like, even if that friend moves away, you always have, like, that understanding, like, you know, you, like, have that eye-to-eye, understanding, like, it's forever, you know, forever, ever. but especially with like partners that the partner that you date, because I don't think this is somebody who would be promiscuous or anything. Yeah. Obviously it's gonna depend on other placements, because if you have Leo, Sagittarius, Moon, it's gonna change a whole bunch of things, you know, or Gemini Moon. Or if it's like Sagittarius Moon in a fire house, you know, it's gonna change a whole bunch of things, you know, or in an air house, especially 3rd house or 11th house, it's gonna change things, you know. But yeah, guys, and then if you have your Taurus Venus in the 9th house, definitely somebody who would, this is your culture. I feel like this is somebody who's very much rooted in their culture, because 9th house deals like with culture, you know, your ethnicity. You're very much rooted in like the culture that you were raised in, and experiencing the wisdom that it's taught you. Like I said, in South Africa we have like, you know, the Zulu, Xhosa, Sotho, Tswana, Venda, Tsonga, you know, different people. So with this, you probably would want to explore different, if you are South African, you probably would want, because 9th house is like about exploration, wisdom. It's like opposite to the 3rd house, where 3rd house is more so about like school, like book smarts, and then 9th house is like street smarts, so getting to know people, so you can be wise about people, you know, so you're like street wise. So in terms of this, you probably want to like, you're the Taurus that like knows how to speak different languages, like you know how to speak Zulu, Xhosa, all of that shit, you know, because you just want to be rooted in different cultures, you know. So you're like the wise Taurus that, you know, you have cousins or whatever, or friends, and they always come to you because you know the ins and outs of being a streetwise person, you know. And this is what you love and appreciate. Like you love and appreciate just getting to know different cultures, you know, and kind of being like, you could be what's this, firmly rooted in love and appreciating your own culture and your own experiences and like your own wisdom, because obviously you have that fixation, that fixated nature, you know. You just may love and appreciate your own wisdom and things that you've experienced, and maybe not be so open to hear what other people have experienced, in terms of like how they felt about it. Like you may sit there, but in your own head, you know, like, oh, I had a different experience to yours. Unless it's like very similar, then you can like be a lot more open to like being like, oh my god, I went through the same thing, and that whatever. You know, it could be that situation, or it could also be a situation where you could be like a lot less reluctant to hearing other people's experiences, especially if you haven't gone through that experience. You know, you may not really care about somebody going to Australia if you haven't been to Australia, you know, because you obviously want to experience Australia yourself, so that if somebody tells you I've been to Australia, then you have your own facts and your own wise experiences of what happened in Australia, you know. Because once again, it's probably gonna go down to you, you know. It won't be so much like a Libra who's a lot more open, or like an Aquarius is a lot more open to hearing other people's experiences. Like with your Venus and Taurus, yeah, you just, once again, you're fixated on your own way of being practical. So you're gonna love and appreciate your own practical ways of experiencing things, and the wisdom that you extracted from those experiences too, you know. So that's the vibe. But definitely you're a wise person. You are a wise person. And you probably would be a lot more open to traveling overseas. But you probably have a plan. Like you have unlike Sagittarius who would maybe like just in the spur of the moment be like, oh my god, I have money to go to Kenya. You know, you want to have a plan. You want to make sure like, okay, I have a place to stay. I have enough money to do this and this and this and this, you know, and then I can go. But unless it's not that situation, then you probably would hold off from traveling, you know. But definitely traveling is definitely part of your plan, and traveling overseas and often, you know, you just always have a plan. You won't be so impulsive or just kind of free with what you do. Yeah, definitely. Oh, if you're into spirituality, then you probably fixated on, if you're into astrology or tarot cards or, you know, color therapy, healing, all of that shit, That's probably what you're fixated on. You may not be somebody that dabbles and dabbles in, okay, I'm a Christian, but I also do astrology, and I also do tarot, and I also do, you know, you probably have one fixed way. It could be that. Could be that, you know. And then if you have your Venus and Taurus in the 10th house, I think you are, what's Aquarius? No, not Aquarius rising. Leo, right? Yeah, Leo rising. So with this, what you love and appreciate is your status, you know, and you probably like to build on your status. So kind of like the 6th house, where you like to have a similar routine every day, but having it in your 10th house, you're definitely somebody, like, you're probably known for doing some artistic shit. If you're not like a filmmaker, or you do art, or I have 2 friends with this placement. You're definitely going to be into filmmaking, you know? So you're going to be, or some kind of photography. You're probably going to attract a lot of people who have some kind of status too, who are also musicians or like actors, actresses. And you may just be attracted to these people. You know, because 10th house rules your career, your status, who you're known for, what you show yourself to be, you know, your reputation. So your reputation is definitely going to be held in the arts also. And if it's not, so if you're like into account, I guess, you know, I always, like, whenever we talk about 10th house, I always talk about artistic shits, because I'm definitely into that, and I went to an art school, and obviously, like, these experiences have come from people who were in art schools. So just like take this and apply this to anything. Like, you could be a man, like the CEO of something, or whatever you were doing, you know. I just feel like for the most part, you're always going to attract somebody. You're always going to end up either being friends or dating somebody who's like at a very high position with that, you know. But I just, obviously it's going to depend with like your situations at home. I'm 20 years old, so I'm speaking from a 20-year-old perspective. You know, I just, like, I was in high school, like, fucking 4 years ago. 3 years, I don't know, 3, 4 years, whatever. Yeah, so you could be, like, I don't know, you could work at Spa or something. Spa is, like, Walmart for you guys who are in the USA. Kind of. I think Spa is a lot smaller, though. It could be bigger, though, depending on where you are. But yeah, you could work at a Walmart Spa, you know, or whatever. I just feel like you may just want to build, or whatever it is that you're doing. You may not be the type of person that, unless you have Gemini in your chart, but you may be the type of person, like, you, from the time you were in high school, you've always known what you wanted to be, and you have stuck with that, and that's your reputation. Like, you don't change who you're known for. If you told yourself, I'm going to be a filmmaker, you're studying filmmaking, and that's that, you know. Obviously shit changes, but let's say you are a manager of Spa or whatever you do, you're probably gonna build on that. And it may be difficult because you may really hate that shit, you know, or maybe you're building to get more money so that you can get out of that, so that you can actually do what you want, you know. I don't know, but for the most part, if you were like fortunate to go to the university you want to study exactly what you want, you are sticking with that, and you're not going to be the indecisive Gemini, Libra, fucking Sagittarius, and you're scattered and you're like, you know, I actually want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. You stick to what the fuck you say, and that's exactly what you're known for. And people are going to know you for, and once you obviously have accumulated more experiences with doing what the fuck you were doing, aka being a filmmaker. And I say filmmaker because I have a friend who has this exact same placement, who is studying filmmaking, and she is sticking with that filmmaking for the rest of her life. You know, I have another friend, but she had like a Gemini something, so, and she said she wanted to be a filmmaker, but now she's doing law, so she's probably going to do law for the rest of her life. You know, she may have a hobby of doing filmmaking, she may have hobbies of painting, she may have hobby, but it's like for her career and what she's known for, it's gonna be this, like, she's gonna build on that career for the rest of her life till she dies. She's gonna be loyal to that career. She's gonna be loyal to that reputation. You know what I'm saying? That's Venus and Taurus in the 10th house, bitch. Yeah. So I feel like your love language is also just kind of, your love language, you love your career. I'd say you just love your career, you know? Yeah. That's the way. I mean, you're still like a loving person, but I feel like you love your... Or maybe you would... If you are a filmmaker, how you show somebody you love them is by inviting them to be an actor on a movie that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Putting them on practical shit, you know? That's that. And then 11th house, if you have your Venus in Taurus in the 11th house, so 11th house is social media, your associates, or whatever. So I feel like with this placement, you may be somebody who's... You may like want to make your associates your homies and be loyal to your associates, you know. Or this may be the type of person like on social media, you're not the type of person that would delete your pictures, you know. Like you probably downloaded Instagram 2015 and you've been posting since then. And like a Venus in Gemini or Scorpio or something, they want to change and switch it up. You have just built, you don't delete any of your pictures, you just build on your Instagram, you know. Like that's just that. You don't really remove anything unless you probably have had the same name since you started Instagram, you know. Because like I said, like social media does rule the 11th house, you know. And even if it's like with associates, you probably maybe behave the exact same behavior to your associates, you know. You probably always have the same routines with your associates. You know, people that you're associated with. There's always like you may be the one that people rely. So this is the type of thing that also like just watch out who you're associated with, because people may know like, oh no, this person always like has some kind of sense. So they always want you to jump on whatever they're doing, and then they use you because they know she's stable, so she can lend us money. She has a car, we can use her to get us to Cape Town. You know, I live in Johannesburg, so I'm just using these examples based on my own surroundings. You know, she has a car, she can take us to Cape Town or Durban. You know what I'm saying? People who aren't really close to you may just know you and like be like, okay, we can use this person because they have some kind of stability that we can use, you know. So just be careful that the people that you are associated with, even if it is on Instagram, like they don't use you in a way that you don't feel comfortable being used, you know. Yeah, so that's the vibe, you know. And then last but not least, if you have your Venus in Taurus in the 12th house, so this is like a super emphasis on the Venus energy, right? Because Venus is exalted in the 12th house. Fuck! It's exalted in the 12th house, and it's home in Taurus. So this is just like a huge emphasis on love. This is definitely somebody who indulges in sex, food, weed. If you don't smoke weed, you know, if you don't take acid, you probably love doing this shit all the fucking time, you know. And you always have means of getting it though, because if you have a Taurus sun sign also in the 12th house, oh Jesus Christ, I feel like yeah, you probably are like a lot more spiritual, like than the average Taurus would have it in like the 2nd house, the 6th house or 10th house, you know, where you're not more so materialistic. Definitely you have I definitely know you have a messy room with this. Your car is probably messy. You're a hoarder, you know, but you love the things that you hoard because it has some kind of spiritual value to it that you've added because it's like part of the subconscious, you know what I'm saying? I think subconsciously you're also you're just a calm human being. And the energy that you exude is very healing and very warm and welcoming and loving. This is definitely the hippie energy, you know. You love going to like raves, trance parties, where you camp and you just dance every day and you sleep and there's music playing and camps and oh my god, it's just like, you know, hectic shit like that. But it's really fun to you because it's like gives you time to just be loose and like, you know, really get into the sensualities of the music, and like there's alcohol playing and there's people dancing. You can dance on somebody and it's just like this magical experience. Because I also feel like with this, you definitely know how to wield down your imagination. You know, unlike a Pisces who may just want to dream about things, you definitely know how to make your dreams be real. You know how to like concretify. You know how to tangibilify. I'm just making up words. You know, you just know how to make your dreams real. You just know how to make, like, you have an idea, you probably definitely a painter with this. You're definitely a painter. Maybe not so much a musician. I definitely see you being a sculptor, a painter, drawer, you know, sketches, whatever, shit like that. But you're definitely into the arts. You know, I don't see somebody being an office human being doing this, you know. Definitely someone who's well in tune with their artistic side and wants to capitalize on their artistic side. And you also have a plan on how to do this, you know, because you also have people that want to support you because they see your talent, because you've made it very obvious that you're a talented human being that has talented, creative, artsy minds, you know. I just say watch out you don't overindulge in anything, because it may be really easy, not even may, it's really easy for this placement to just overindulge in everything, you know, romance, especially if you're a guy, you probably just like are like a Pisces, where you may be like promiscuous also, you know. You may be also very promiscuous with this as a girl, as a human vagina carrier, or as a human penis carrier, you know. Just chill out on the overindulging factor of life, you know. You don't want to lose your mind and like get all kinds of illnesses because you didn't know when the fuck to stop. Child, I'm a Virgo, I'm telling you, have boundaries. Hopefully you have Capricorn somewhere or Aquarius somewhere. Yeah, just have boundaries, you know, just chill out on that. But yeah, that's my video on Venus and Taurus in the houses. Hope you enjoyed this video. In my next video, I'm doing Venus in Aries, and that will conclude the Venus series, and I'm so excited. Yeah, it's been great. It's been amazing. I have to go now. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and bye.